and Kiker and you guys got together, or was this just something that just kind of fell in your lap and the momentum was there to keep it going?
Yeah, a lot of good points there. I guess when you first start out, you always dream of having a lot of success and doing all the things right and winning all these big races, but dreaming about it and doing it are two different things. So I've been very blessed. We've won close to 200 races, and more than that, if you count what our customers have won, and it's pretty mind-boggling. So and I guess when I first started, I was dreaming, of course, of being a race car driver on Sunday, and as I grew into it and seeing where things were kind of going with the industry, I felt like I could be a positive help to the short track industry. So, it just kind of changed my focus, and my heart's at racing on Saturday nights at all these local tracks, NASCAR and Cars Tour, and all these. It's a lot of great stuff going on right now in short track racing.
Definitely. And that was one of the next questions I was going to ask you, my friend, is where do you see the racing industry going in 2019? Obviously, some people say the car counts are down. Some people say that we need more fans. Obviously, on the touring level, it looks like cars are doing well with the late model stock program, struggling with the super program. Opinions vary. Quality versus quantity. What's your take on it being a respected racer in this industry?
I think, like I said, it's tough on all the tracks and races right now, but, South Boston's got a good thing going right now for a weekly track, and, Cars Tour is definitely really strong right now. So, as far as the short track late model stuff, you have some tracks that's, doing a little bit better than others, but, I feel like if people can kind of get a hold on the motor issues and the tire issues and some of the cost stuff that's hurting racing, I feel like if we can kind of wrangle some of that stuff in, it's definitely not too late to make a big comeback with short track racing. So I see more fans coming, this year, like South Boston. The place has been packed. Cars Tour race, Kenley maybe down a little bit.
Right.
Weather wasn't that great, but Hickory, they had a lot of people sitting there watching that thing. So, I wish everybody success. All of us need to have success to keep it going, and
that's right.
I hope it continues to go in an upward trend.
Martinsville, the last couple of years, been racing at nighttime. Good or bad? What's your thoughts on Martinsville at night for the Valley Star 300?
I think it's awesome. We ain't got to worry about getting dark on us, and short track racing. That's what the fans want to see, Saturday night racing. So I love night racing, and I think it's definitely a benefit.
Do you think it's time, after the shenanigans that we saw happen last year at the late model race, that we need to come up with a new format? There might be some rules implemented. What's your take on that on the outside looking in of where the big race for basically the Daytona 500 of late model stock racing is headed going into 2019?
Yeah, I think it's always some stuff you can work on that's, on both sides of the fence. The racers can do a better job. Officials can do a better job sometimes. And, that's where you got to be open. They got to talk to us, and we've got to communicate with them. And, it's tough. I mean, everybody's got a solution, their own idea, but, it is some things I wish that they would do a little different about the race, but, we can get into a lot of detail there. And unfortunately, I don't have that kind of time. I got a car sitting here ready to go out on the racetrack, and, I could talk to you all day about stuff
Absolutely.
Like that, but it's definitely something, because, if I can help the officials or the tracks or any time, all they got to do is call me up, and, I'm free to talk about suggestions or ideas or what, because that's, like I said, that's what's going to make us all continue to grow and be strong.
I was going to say that in reiteration of what you were talking about. Do you feel like it's time for the NASCAR sanctioned bodies, the car owners, the drivers, the crew members, the track promoters, sponsors even for that matter, and maybe even race fans that can attend? Do you think we are seriously in that realm of where it's time to have maybe a debate or a summit, a racing summit, to try to hash it all out, not to have an argument, not to get your point across and their point across and everybody being a big free-for-all for nothing, but to try to have everybody understand where everybody's coming from to see where we can fix the sport than continue to hurt it.
Yeah, I don't think that would be a bad idea. I think as soon as the year is out, it would be a bad idea to have some, a panel of some, different types of people, some of the smaller teams, some of the middle-sized teams, and even some of the bigger teams, and just kind of get everybody together, tracks and officials, and, just all kind of get on the same page. I know there's going to be different ideas and stuff, but if you can get a general consensus of what people think will help strengthen the sport, I think that's always going to be a positive in the future.
Absolutely. Final question, buddy, and I'll let you go. In regards to what happened Saturday, do you feel like NASCAR justified and made the right call with everything that went down?
I'll be glad when we can get to the racetrack and I can rub fenders with Philip Morris and he can rub fenders with me and we can put on some more shows for the fans, whether I put clips on, he has to put clips on, whatever, it's just hard racing and, that's about all I'll say about that. But, I don't even know if NASCAR's officially come out with anything. I guess that was what the track felt like when that article or whatever, but I haven't actually heard anything out of NASCAR. And
gotcha.
It is what it is. So we're just going to continue about our business and continue to work on building our cars and getting faster and go put a show out there for the fans.
There you go. Well, Lee Pulliam, man, thank you so much for taking the time to join us on the program. Continued success with Lee Pulliam Motorsports, with Corey Hamm, with Brandon Pierce, yourself, racing at South Boston, running all these big races, and obviously I know you got a lot. You're wearing a lot of hats now from being where you've gone from just being a race car driver, and proud of you. Glad to see these things, and I'm sure we'll run into each other at a racetrack very soon. Matter of fact, I'll be at Orange County on Sunday for that big race. I'll stop in and say hello to you.
Sounds good, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lee. Take care.
Yeah.
From Mountain, Virginia, he's getting ready to go testing, getting ready for that big race at Orange County Speedway. Lee Pulliam from Mountain, Virginia, from Lee Pulliam Motorsports. As again, I didn't want to go there, but I just kind of said, hey, man, do you feel like it's justified with what you've gone through before? Was NASCAR right in what they did, penalizing this Forrest Reynolds guy? And here's the thing, guys. He's not even a driver. He's just a crew member. He's just a chassis builder. And to jump on a racetrack and do what he did is crazy. That's why, past this incident that happened with Tony Stewart and Kevin Ward Jr., was implemented the Kevin Ward Jr. rule, and it's very simple. Stay the hell off the racetrack. Do not get out of your car and do anything stupid. And stay off the racetrack if you are not an official safety rescue. And I think it's crazy that us as track announcers, fellow announcers, colleagues, friends, when something happens, whether it be a car flipping, whether it be an accident where there's a fire, whether it be there's a fight, whether it be there's a controversial incident like what happened with Pulliam and Reynolds, with Force, we have to constantly yell over the loudspeaker and over public address. Please stay back from the fence. Please do not be on the racetrack if you're not an official safety rescue, blah, blah, blah. Stay away. I don't know what we can do to try to implement that, to make it more mandated that that's the way things need to be. Do not get on that racetrack. It's not a very safe place. Anything can happen at any given time. Stay off the racetrack. That's my soapbox for the day. Thank you for joining us on Finish Line for April 3rd, 2019. Archives will be up in a minute. Thank you to our guest panel, which include Harli White, Brett Hamm. Harli White, winner at I-30 for the ASCS, her first career national sprint car win. Harli White, again, Brett the Jet Hamm from Newberry, South Carolina, winner of the Ed Gibbons Memorial for the Carolina Clash. 3 out of 4 for the Gator Dirt Nationals at Southern Raceway in Milton, Florida. The Panhandle for Myrtle Beach, South Carolina's natural Conno Leffler. And from Lee Pulliam Motorsports, race car driver, 4-time NASCAR late model champion for the Woodland Series, Martinsville winner, and so many other cool things, Lee Pulliam. Now car owner, team owner, cool things. Awesome for podcast. We'll do it again next Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. As always, be good to one another. I'm Wesley Outley, and remember, it's always fun turning left, and every road in life has a finish line. Godspeed.
This episode of Finish Line is an exclusive production solely for the private, non-commercial use of our listening audience. Any publication, reproduction, transmission of the accounts without the express written consent or permission is restricted and prohibited. To hear this replay or other previous podcasts, download on iHeartRadio, iTunes Radio, and TuneIn. As always, this show is for you. Thank you for listening and being a fan of motorsports.
This is Finish Line.